Hey guys, it's Jen here from Nails by Jen. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome to my channel. So today's video is going to be another watch me work video. This client every year around Christmas gets copper and fuchsia to match her Christmas tree. So every year I try to do it a little bit different, but she always likes to have tons and tons of glitter. She likes to have some foil put in there, basically anything that is sparkly. So I do try to switch it up a little bit every year. So if this is something you're interested in, stick around, keep watching. As always, don't forget to click that like and subscribe for me. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below, and let's get started. Alright guys, so first things first, I must remove her old set and take it down to a very thin layer. So her old set is an encapsulated set, so will this new set also be an encapsulated set using acrylic. So I am using my 2X carbide bit. I don't know what they call the shape of this bit, if it's just a cone bit, but I absolutely love this shape ever since I have switched to it. I used to just use the regular cylinder bits, also in 2X, 3X, 4X carbide. But this shape is amazing for getting in and around that proximal nail fold area, or the cuticle area as we often call it, right up in that area right there. The shape just helps to be able to get in there and not nick anything or have to be as careful. I mean, you still have to be careful, but because it's smaller, it just fits in there so much better. Now I'm also using my MELODYSUSIE SCARLET EFILE, and I also have a MELODYSUSIE dust collector underneath. Now I absolutely love this dust collector, but as I've mentioned in one of my previous recent watch me work videos, I am really struggling because this bit cuts through the product so well and so fast. It's actually chunking the product and it's shooting everywhere, and it's just not really going into the dust collector. I mean, a lot of it goes into the dust collector, but as you can see, the product still shoots everywhere, and I'm finding it very staticky, and I still haven't really found a solution for that. So unfortunately, I still end up having dust all over, but I love that the bit cuts through the product so much faster because it's less work for me. So on the other hand of that, I also file at the highest speed. Now I know everyone who's watching is probably in like, oh, Jen, you file at the highest speed? This e-file goes to 30,000 RPM, and I know that it doesn't seem like anyone else files at the highest speed of the drill, and I don't know why that is. Obviously, if you are a new tech or a beginner tech, you do not want to be starting out with your e-file filing at the highest speed, but I have been doing nails for 13 years, and to be honest, I have been filing at high speed probably the majority of my career, because I just find if I file at any lower of a speed, it takes way too long for me. So I'm not sure if the reason behind people filing at a lower speed is for safety reasons, or if there are other reasons, please share that below with me, because I just cannot figure it out. I have tried filing at a lower speed thinking that maybe there's some reason and it cuts through the product even better or quicker, but that has not been the case with me with any of my e-files, which I have had several e-files over the years, very expensive professional ones, to like some like MELODYSUSIE, which are very affordable. So if you can tell me why people file at a lower speed other than for safety reasons, please let me know in the comment section, because I would love to know why you would bother filing at a lower speed and it take longer than getting it done faster. So I'm going to continue on going through all 10 of these nails. And by the way, I do have a watch me work video on her set that I am removing currently. It is a opal set and it's really, really pretty. I go through all of the steps as to how to create the design. So check that out as well. And like I said, I'm going to go through all 10 of her fingers, removing all of this product down to a thin layer. And then we're going to get ready for the rest of the prep. So the next step is to use my cuticle pusher, and I am pushing back the proximal nail fold. Now I generally don't use my cuticle pusher to scrape the nail plate and scrape the cuticle off. I literally just use it to push back the proximal nail fold. So I have mentioned several times we are constantly hearing people confuse the proximal nail fold with the cuticle. So this flap of skin that I am pushing back with my cuticle pusher is the proximal nail fold. The cuticle is the dead tissue that we scrape off of the nail plate. So the reason that I push back this proximal nail fold is so that I can expose that nail plate so I can get all of the cuticle off. Now I prefer to remove the cuticle with a hand file and then going in with an e-file and a cuticle bit on a very low speed. I find that that works the best for me, but for years when I first started, I definitely just used a flat-edged cuticle pusher and scraped that nail plate. So whichever way you prefer to do it is absolutely fine. I would just highly recommend that you start using the correct term, that you are scraping the cuticle off the nail plate, but you are pushing back the proximal nail fold. So here I am going in with my hand file, and I am roughening up all of that nail. Even though we did that with the e-file, I'm just going through and I'm reshaping the nail. She loves her nails really, really sharp and pointy. We call them daggers. So I'm getting that nail shape in place before I apply my product, because it just makes it so much easier after the product is applied when you have to finish file. I'm also going on any of the natural nail that has shine on it, and I'm removing the shine. I'm not digging into her nail. I'm just creating a little bit of a rough surface. And I'm using an old file, so I keep all of my clients' files in envelopes. So this file is a file that I would have used on her last set, possibly two of her last sets, so it's definitely not as coarse. So it is safe to use on the natural nail to remove that shine, and that also starts to remove some of the cuticle that is on the nail plate. Again, like I said, I will also go in next with my e-file and my cuticle bit, and I will get the rest of the cuticle off. I'm also removing any little bits of lifting that were left on the nail. If there are any that I did not get with the e-file, I'm also using my hand file here to do that as well. So you can see the difference here in the shape of her middle finger compared to her ring finger, which I have sharpened up nicely. Now, if I put all of my new product and built her nail in acrylic and then went back to try to get that sharp pointed shape, it would be far more work because of all of the product that would be on her nail. It would be way harder to file through all that product, hand filing through all of that product to get that shape. So that's why it's important to get your shape in place before you apply your product. Something else I also want to mention is, as I am editing my Watch Me Work videos, I always feel like it looks like I'm just going so hard on my client's fingers, and I'm really not. I don't know why it looks like that, but I'm really, really not. And I always communicate with my clients and let them know that if something hurts or if something is getting hot or anything is uncomfortable at all, to let me know, because if I don't know, then I can't change it. And she's never complained or said anything about the pressure that I have put or how fast I'm filing or anything like that. But I always notice when I'm editing my videos, it just looks like I'm just going in and going to town and going really hard on their nails, but I'm not. Alright guys, so here is where I go in with my cuticle bit. So I really like these Erica's micro taper. I believe they come in a 2-pack. I have been getting them at Canada Nail Supplies recently, and I absolutely love these. Now, the important thing to know when you are using cuticle bits is that you want to keep the bit relatively flat to the nail. You don't want it to be poking into the nail. So if you keep it really flat against the nail, you definitely won't cause any damage. Now, I will be the first to say that I have instances where I have created rings of fire on my clients' nails. I'm not proud to say that, but it absolutely has happened. It has happened because I'm rushing. It has happened because there might be a lot of product still on the nail. So when I go to remove the cuticle, I cannot lay the bit super flat because I'm just doing like a rebalance or an infill where I'm just applying a little bit of product at the cuticle area and the rest of the nail still has a lot of product on it. So I can't lay the bit super flat. And in that instance, I think that also can cause rings of fire. So again, I am not proud to say that that happens, but I am real with you guys and accidents do happen. But the best way to prevent that is to make sure that you are keeping the bit relatively flat to the nail. I'm also filing at a really low speed. I'm just going to guess at the number because I've never really looked at what number I do it at, but based on my dial, I'm going to say that it's between probably 10 and 15,000 RPMs. Now, I generally start on one side of the nail. So as you can see here, I'm asking my client to turn her hand. I am going up her left side, which is my right side, and I'm going to do that on all of her fingers. On this hand, I do all 5. And then I will go back along the left side, which is her right side as well, and do the same thing. So it's very important to ask your clients to move their fingers and their hands in a way that makes your job easier. I know that sometimes we think, oh, we don't want our clients to be uncomfortable, but I am sitting in my chair for 10 hours a day. Some of you guys on a regular basis are sitting for 12, 13 hours a day. So your client's only there for an hour and a half. So they can be uncomfortable for a few minutes to maneuver their fingers or maneuver their hand to make your job easier so that you can give them not only the best job and the best nails, but also that you aren't in pain all day. So just ask your clients to move their fingers and move their hands around. My clients don't get mad, and if they do, they definitely don't show it. So I'm just going to be doing that on the rest of these fingers here. I've already done her right hand. I'm going through and finishing up. And as you can see, the bit is laying relatively flat. It's pretty flat to the nail. So once I've finished all 10 fingers with the cuticle bit, I'm just going in with my nippers and I am going to nip off anything that is basically standing up or is white and looking dead. I'm not cutting off any live tissue. I know that there's tons of videos out there where people use those really, really sharp, fine scissors and they go to town on the tissue and really, really cut it off, and it looks amazing. The finished look is really, really clean, but we're really not supposed to cut off live tissue. So I'm just cutting off anything that's white and is standing up on the nail. So we are finally getting into the glitters and the colors. So I've got some holographic fuchsia chunky glitter mix from the nail team. I've got some copper chrome. I've got some fuchsia pink chrome. I've also got some glitters from Glitter Mix Canada. The fuchsia holographic is called Laser Glitter Fuchsia. The copper chrome is from MOYRA. I got it at Canada Nail Supply. It's number 24. And then I have this pink chrome also, and it is from Social Claus. I purchased it many moons ago. And then these two glitters, Caramel 044 and Copper 054. So usually this client actually likes to have her hands be opposite, and what I mean by that is she'll usually do one color on the pinky, the pointer, and the thumb on one hand, and then she'll flip it and do the opposite on the other hand. But she wanted to keep both the hands the same this time, and she wanted to have more copper than pink this year. So I started off on the ring finger and the middle finger by applying that copper chrome, and then I'm just basically going in and adding a little bit of the fuchsia chrome. And the way that I'm applying these chromes is I'm just dipping my brush into my clear acrylic and then dipping it into the chrome in the jar. So I'm also going to be applying some glitter onto this nail because every nail has to have glitter. And on the rest of the nails, I am going to be adding a copper fine glitter. I honestly don't know where I got it, but it's just mixed in a jar with acrylic already. And I'm going to be applying layers of glitters and all of that good stuff on each nail. She wanted them really, really sparkly and a little different from her last year's set. So once all of the glitter has been laid, I'm going in and I'm going to encapsulate with my Young Nails Speed Clear acrylic, and then I'm going to hand file them into shape and just perfect that shape. And again, this is where pre-shaping them does really help, so you don't have a lot of filing at the end. I will also buff them, and then I will top coat them. Alright guys, so that is it for this Watch Me Work video. Another set of copper and pink for this girl in the books. I think that this is her 3rd or 4th year that we have done copper and pink. So, and it always has to have sparkle, so every year is kind of a bit of a challenge to try to make it look a little bit different, and we definitely did that this year. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, guys, please share it with someone else, and as always, have an amazing day.